Oh boy. VidDevo Bible, 7 minutes in the Word of God. Genesis chapter 1, verse 6. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. In VidDevo Bible, it would be easy to commentate or to add commentary to what's being said. But the only thing that we're doing is what is read, because what we read is what God has said. And what God has said in Genesis 1:6 is, and God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. The greatest mistake that can be made in commentary is to add to what the Word of God says. One of the greatest failures of evangelical Christianity is to take from or to add to what God has said. Because when God has said it, we can live it. But when we add to or take from the Word of God, we take away from who God is and what God has said. God has said very simply and very clearly and specifically to you. He's speaking directly to me. He's saying, and God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. All he is saying is, let there be a firmament. It doesn't say what happened, where it happened, how it happened. It says, let there be a firmament. It doesn't say what the firmament is. It doesn't say to define the firmament. It simply says, what did God say? And you can answer. And God said, let there be a firmament. We know where the location of that firmament is, because it says it is in the midst of the waters. Because God says, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. Then God adds a little interesting point here, and he says, and let it divide the waters from the waters. It doesn't say that it causes the waters to move. It doesn't say that it causes the waters to be. It doesn't say anything about the waters except that the firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. God saying, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters, means what it says, and says what it means, that it divides the waters from the waters. The realization of that is very simple. The specifics of what God is saying is very clear. There's no question as to what the purpose of the firmament does, or how it does, or what it does. It simply states it very succinctly, or very perfectly, or very easy to understand for even a baby child, that even if we were telling the story and said, oh yeah, once upon a time God created, then we would say this in verse 6, and God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And that's what the firmament does. We know that it divides the waters from the waters. Other than that, we're not told anything about the firmament, except that God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And this has been your 7 minutes in the Word of God. What you have heard is the Word, and it is the VidDevo Bible.